Hi everyone, we're on section 1.7, multiplying and dividing real numbers. As you can see from the rules that I have posted here, if you multiply two numbers with the same sign, you get a positive answer, and when they have different signs, it's negative. Anytime you multiply something times 0, you get 0. So we're going to start on these examples. Notice the first one has a positive and a negative, so when I multiply, I get 28, and it's a negative 28 because my signs are not the same. If I multiply anything times 0, I still get 0. So negative 6 times 0 is 0. When I multiply fractions, you multiply the numerator times the numerator, denominator times denominator. Now, I have a positive and a negative. This one is going to be negative. 2 times 2 is 4. 7 times 11 is 77. And now the negative can go in a number of places, so we can write that differently. We could write it like this. And we could write it with the negative in the denominator, but most of the time that's not really a good idea because that's not considered simplified. Now, notice I have a helpful hint here. If it's an even number of negative numbers, when we're multiplying more than two numbers, we're going to get a positive result. And if it's an odd number of negatives, we'll get a negative result. Now, that's actually true even for two numbers if you think about it. On this first one, notice we have 1, 2, 3 negatives, so that's an odd number of negatives, which means my answer will be negative. And then I just multiply my numbers, right? 2 times 5 is 10, 10 times 1 is still 10, 10 times 3 is 30, so this answer is negative 30. On the second example, I have 2 negatives, so this one will be positive. And so 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 3 is 48, and it is a positive 48. Now we're going to work with some exponents. When we have negatives with a base number and exponents, whether it has parentheses or not can sometimes determine what's going to happen. Now if it's an odd exponent, it really works out the same either way. But when it's an even exponent, we have to think about that a little more. So I'm going to put the negative on the outside. 2 is the base, so it's 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, not 3. I was thinking of the parenthesis. And then if I multiply that out, I get 16. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and this will be a negative 16. On the next one, this means negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. Now, the exponent on this one, when it's in parentheses, tells us that we're going to get a negative answer. And then when I multiply, 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times 4 is 64. I'm kind of just putting some lines between these so we don't run into the next one. Okay, so I'm going to write this like I did the first one. The negative is on the outside, 5 is the base, so it's 5 times 5, and we get negative 25. This has to do with multiplication, that's why it's in this section. And last of all, we have negative 3 times negative 3. You'll want to test your calculators too and make sure they calculate these the way they're supposed to, whether the negative's in parentheses or not. Okay, so we're going to talk about some reciprocals, which seems like we talked about those before, but maybe not. When you multiply a number times this reciprocal, we always get 1. If you look at this first number, we can think of it as negative 8 over 1. So the reciprocal is going to be negative 1 over 8, right? So basically you just flip it upside down. Whatever sign it was stays. 6 17ths would be 17 over 6. And then this one's kind of weird. It has a decimal and a fraction, but that's okay. Because when I rewrite this, I just get negative 8.9. That's the reciprocal of 1 over negative 8.9. So we're going to do a little division. Now the rules are basically the same as far as signs go. Same thing. If the signs are the same, I get a positive. If the signs are different, I get a negative. So on this, I take negative 18 divided by, remember this is a division bar. So negative 18 divided by negative 6 gives me a positive 3. Here's a place where I can use that reciprocal. I'm rewriting this as multiplication, and so that's going to be times negative 2 over 1. And then I can just multiply straight across. There is nothing to simplify, and this is negative 8/5. All right, I'm going to end on this screen, and then I'll start up a new video for the next part. This is something I was kind of talking about on that previous screen. All of those are equivalent. And when we're dividing by a non-zero number, then, or if we're dividing by a 0, that's called undefined, but we can divide 0 and that's okay. So we're going to talk about that a little bit here. So if I look at this first example, I have negative 5/12. I'm going to rewrite it with the reciprocal of this, right here, of the 12/5. So it'll be 5/12. And then when I multiply, I get negative 25 over 144, and that won't simplify because there was nothing to simplify in the first place. So when I divide a number by 0, it's undefined. But if I had it the other way, 3 divided by 0, that equals 0. So hopefully that will help you just keep that in mind. And that's the end of this video. I'll see you on the next one.